Yo, what's going on? What's going on, good people, man? Welcome to another episode of Zaya Talks, man, and I'm excited that you're here with me. Listen, if this is your first time on the channel, I want to encourage you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Man, we're going to be doing a lot more talks like this often here, man, on the channel, man, and I'm excited about this thing, man. The topic of discussion today is, should rappers be held responsible for their lyrics? Should your favorite rapper, Lil Baby, DaBaby, Dirk, Moneybags, you know what I'm saying, Drake, all of these artists, should they be held responsible for their lyrics? Now, of course, as a man of God, you know, someone who believes in Jesus, love Jesus, you know, rock with Christ and all of those things, there's certain things that I don't agree with and certain things that I do agree with, right? But that's no shade to how a person decides to live their life. That's just my own personal code, what I choose to abide by and live by. It just helps me to be, more focused and disciplined in the things that I desire to do. But ultimately, man, I want to have this conversation because I think that it's real big and it's exciting because me and my wife were upstairs having a conversation as to who in the industry now, secular artists, who do I like the most and why? And I was, we kind of got into a conversation. I started to think about it just personally, me as an artist, like, wow, the reason I like this person as an artist has rarely enough to do with his music. It's more so just who he is as a person. But so I was actually watching, forget who it was, but I was watching, let me see if I can actually clean this up for y'all. Something's going on with my, hold on. It shouldn't be doing this. This is weird. So we were talking about, basically like, what do I like in an artist? The number one artist now, of course, we know is Drake in the world, in hip hop, with his streams. And I told her that I really enjoy DaBaby or Lil Baby. And she was like, wow. I said, I just love who he is as a person, as an individual. And, and just that's what kind of like gave me an opportunity to get to know him, to, to kind of just know who he is as a person apart from music. So the question that I'm asking is, should rappers be held responsible for their lyrics? Now, I like what Lil Yachty said. I watched an interview with him and he talked about how, and I've heard this across the board many times, but he talked about how that if an actor, right, was to do a scene, a murder scene, or to do anything like that in the movies, he's applauded, he's praised, and like, wow, wonderful acting job, that was incredible. But if an artist, you know what I'm saying, raps about those very same things, it's not looked at in that way, so far as by the large amounts of people. Now, granted, there's still people that I know that personally don't condone even those things in movies, right? And which I understand. I think everyone has a different point of view when it comes to certain things that we see. We bring certain things into it, our own personal issues and personal way that we looks at things, right? And I get it, I understand that. But what really blew me away was what Lil Yachty said, and it makes so much sense on a human level, right? Why are we so frustrated with rappers when it comes to the fact of them basically just doing the same thing that an actor would do? Your favorite actor, one of my favorite actors is, of course, Jim Carrey. I love Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is funny. He's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? It's just who he is as a person. But being able to do different personalities and different movies was so dope, right? And I agree with Lil Yachty when it comes to that on a human level, when he talks about, we give them more credit than we do rappers. And he said that rapping for him was an art. In other words, I don't do the things that I'm talking about. This is how I make my living, getting money and all of those things like that. So as an artist, I understand what he's saying, right? As he said, because we don't look at a Picasso painting and be like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? What did you do, or whatever the case was when you were watching that, or what, so I understand his reality and what he's talking about, you know what I'm saying, concerning looking at it from that point of view. Now, granted, as a Christian man, I understand that there's certain things that we hear, we listen to, could possibly, not be good for our hearing and all of those things. I get that and I understand that. But the same would be true like you were saying, like for any movie that you watch, you can't watch one movie today without there being something in there that you personally might not like, right? So the question is, should rappers be held responsible for their lyrics? Now, as a Christian man, I'm going to say that I think that, of course, there's going to be some things that rappers say that shouldn't be condoned. In other words, I don't believe, even in movies, that, you know, if we looked at it from that point of view, it shouldn't be like, okay, wow, he's talking about murder and all of these things, right? He should be judged that way in his personal life. And you know, I don't know, why is it, why do you think that, people in general tend to not hold the weight of a movie like they would a rap artist who's talking about killing, and why is it not publicized in that manner? And I think that was a really good piece that I started to meditate on about that. But what do you think? What are your personal thoughts on that? Do you think that rappers should be held responsible for their lyrics, for the bad things that they say? Should they be condoned? Should they be condemned? Should they be lifted up? Should they be praised? Like, what do you think? Do you believe that that's something that is, I don't know, is that something that, you know, you see in your life, or you even tripping on? Because for me, I'm like, you know, wow, for so long, I've always been against certain things, of course, because as a Christian man, there were certain things that you should do, certain things that you shouldn't do, of course. But ultimately, I think it really boils down to your personal relationship with Christ. And that's what I've always believed. You know, I don't think that for one second that, you know, a rapper, based on what Lil Yachty said, his conviction, that he should be held responsible for what he is saying, in the manner of him giving his statement, saying like, okay, this is an art. I look at this as an art. Now, overall, as a Christian man, there's some values that I basically understand that, okay, you know, ultimately when you say certain things, that you have a power in, you know, what you say, you know what I'm saying? And that there's strength in your words. And I don't think that that's something that to be understood. Like, for example, I didn't know when I was young that I could drown in 12 feet, right? So I'm playing like with my brothers and sisters, and I'm playing with my brother. We running around the pool and everything, and he jumps in 12 feet. And then, you know, me being who I was, I jumped in right after. I'm like, man, we about to, you know, I'm about to get you. You got me, I'm about to get you back. So I jump in the pool, and, you know what I'm saying, I began to start to drown. But it was because of my lack of understanding. It's because I didn't know, of course, that, you know, that was going to actually happen, right? You know, I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? But I think that when a rapper gives a statement and he says, I'm doing this for this, X, Y, and Z, and I'm so sorry, y'all, that my film is all glitchy. This is so weird. I don't know why I was doing this. But I think that ultimately, as a rapper, though, that when, you know, they give their point or their reference, that you should hear what they're saying. And I think that that's what I did. I heard what Lil Yachty said. And for so long, so many rappers have been saying this, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is just how I eat. It's how I get my money. This is how, you know, I pay bills and X, Y, and Z. You know, I get that and I understand that completely. But that's a good question to ask. Do you believe that they should be held responsible for their action, or for what actions are different from the things that you say on both hands? Because a person could say that I love you and treat you like garbage, right? A person could do something one day that's wrong, but loved you fully all the way through. But the action is what kind of changed your point of view about this person, right? How they did certain things. And that's the big thing I want to say. You have to get to know a person first in order to be able to understand why a person do what they do. And when I heard what he said and I got a chance to sit down and listen to him, it really opened my eyes up, not to condone or to applaud, you know, when someone says that, you know what, this is gonna happen, I'm gonna get you, you know, I'm gonna murder you, you know what I'm saying? You know what, I got this by the pound, I got this by the dozen. Like, when a person makes a statement and says certain things of that nature, you know, I understand and I get it, based on the fact of what you telling me. Now, if a person's like, yo, this is what I'm doing, this is how I live my life, you know what I'm saying, I'm out here getting it like this, you know what I'm saying, then that's an issue where I'm like, okay, wow, I get it. But ultimately, I don't want to make this real long, I'm gonna keep it 10 minutes, but do I think that rappers should be held responsible for what they say? Yes and no. And I'll tell you why. The reason I say yes is because as a Christian man, I understand that when you say certain things, it creates the world around you. And when you speak certain things, you invite certain things, right? And I would say no, because if a person is basically doing those things, right, and they're out there, let's just say a person is, you know what I'm saying, speaking about something that they don't have, right? But they don't know that what they're saying is creating any type of confusion or pain or worry or stress or strife. I don't think that they should be held responsible for what they don't know. And as I conclude this, I want to share this. When Jesus was on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. There are certain things that you do that you know that's wrong, right? That you're going to feel a certain way about it. But then there's going to be certain things that you do that you don't know that's wrong, and you're not going to feel a way about it, right? So that's where I'm basically standing in between right there. Not saying that I'm straddling the fence, but I just understand that every situation is unique. There's not one situation the same. There, you know, you're gonna have two different opinions in the room when you have two individuals, right? And that's the way that it's set up. That's the way that it is. And so ultimately, should rappers should they be held responsible? Listen, hey, what do you think? Because I said what I had to say. But listen, man, I want to say, man, thank you guys for dropping and checking out this video. I didn't really get into depth. I kind of want to keep these a little short now, man. Just a little 10 minutes, boom, bam, in and out, and we with it, man. So listen, man, I want to encourage you guys to hit the subscribe key. We're going to be doing more talks like this lately, more and more, you know what I'm saying? Because now I'm finding my groove in Zaya Talks, and we're going to get with it. We're going to have some fun. And, man, holla at your boy, man. Listen, let me know what you think down in the comments below. And listen, I'm going to get with you real soon. Yeah. One last thing before I go.